in horror or just in general, what would you tell young Neil about working in this industry?
Oh God, I would have told him to do what all these other like brilliant filmmakers did and just start making Super 8 movies when you're a kid for
Yeah.
and then you're like, you hit your 20s and you're like you're a pro. Like I wish I did that. I didn't really get into filmmaking until like 8 years ago, so I can't I can't do that. But I was very like aware of the fact that all right, I have a lot of catching up to do because I was originally going to be an actor, and now I have to learn this entirely new craft and everything. And I just really I don't have I like you got to make mistakes and you got to make a lot of crap and you got to just there's so many things to learn that you just have to dive in and just keep doing it and kind of try to remove the result from it or the idea of getting validation from others, from your peers, or Hollywood or whatever, and just jump in and just make as much stuff as you can, make as many mistakes as you can. Because there's just thousands of like these little like minute decisions you have to make that you're not even aware of what those decisions are until you've done it tons of times. Which is what I think separates like the really good work from the not so good work is the people who are doing the really good stuff. They're aware of all the tiny, small decisions that you have to make. That the
Hmm.
quality of your project is going to depend upon. And so the only way I see it is just making as much stuff as you can, as make it as best as you can, and already be working on your next project before the other project has even been released yet. Because I think that's another thing psychologically is like if you spend months on a short film and then you're not working on anything else and then you release the short film and maybe you get some views and your family likes it, your friends like it, but it doesn't open the doors for you, then you're kind of like you feel bad. But if you're already neck deep into your next project, you don't have time to feel bad. You're already working on your next thing and you're excited because you're applying all the things you learned from your last project to your next one, and then try to keep that chain going for as long as you can. And eventually you learn a few things and I think you start getting better. But the key thing is to just keep going and not try not to worry about the result if that's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely had to learn all that. I mean, you just kind of have to learn it the hard way sometimes. And I wrote my first feature let's just say a long time ago. And I was just determined to make it. Like I was like, this is the one. This is my like. It's based on my life and whatever. And I feel this one so deeply or whatever. But I wasn't doing anything else. Like, and when that one collapsed, it was like I don't have anything else. Like, and I had to kind of start from scratch about writing stuff and starting over. And yeah, I was like, man, I can't just do that again. I can't just like write one thing and I'm like, all right, I did it. Now let's you gotta
Yeah.
just like you said, like put it away, maybe get some eyes on it or whatever, and then just like next thing, like keep going. Because things fall apart so quickly in this industry that you gotta just like, all right, on to the next, like you said.
It seems like the people who have kind of broken through and succeeded, that seems to be what they did. I guess there are perhaps some who were just utterly brilliant and didn't have to go through that process. I mean, I don't know. Even Stanley Kubrick, who was like, he was what, like 26 when he made like The Killing, which is one of the all-time great film noir movies. And you're like, well, he was just a prodigy because how can someone that young know how to do that? Well, it's like, well, he did do two feature films before that, and this is something I learned when I went to see this is right when the pandemic hit and the thing closed. And fortunately, I got to see it. Was there was a Stanley Kubrick exhibition at one of the local museums here, and I got to see all of his photography. And what I didn't realize, what he had done for years, was he was doing these photo sort of like essay stories for these newspapers. So he would have to tell these miniature stories through photographs. And there were like dozens and dozens of these like miniature stories he was telling, which, by the way, if you go to like film school and stuff, that's like one of the first exercises they do, where they're like, create a story through images.
Yeah. Okay.
And so he had been doing that for years and years and years, honing his craft at doing these photo essays, even before he made his first couple feature films, which weren't even really that great.
Yeah.
So that kind of throws out the whole idea that even Stanley Kubrick, the crazy brilliant genius, he had to work his craft for a really long time before he could make a movie like The Killing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It affects us all.
Yeah.